Have you ever wondered how the NHL works? Like, why do teams play 82 games? How does the point system work? And how come some teams get into the playoffs while others doesn't? Well, in this 5-minute, we're going to figure that out. Alright, first let's talk about the NHL teams. So there's 32 teams in the NHL, split into the Western and Eastern Conference. Each conference has two divisions. For example, the East Conference has the Atlantic and Metropolitan Division, while the West has the Central and Pacific. Teams mostly play each other in their divisions, plus matchups across the conferences. This is designed so that rivalry stays strong. Think Leafs versus the Canadiens, Oilers versus the Flames. But everybody still gets to play each other at least twice every season. Now let's talk about the 82-game grind, which is basically the season. So what happens here is that each team gets to play 82 games in one season, 41 at the home rink and 41 away. This goes from October all the way to April. And you can hear people talking about road trips or back-to-back games. That's because the NHL schedules can get brutal. 1 week, you're freezing in Winnipeg, and 3 days later, you're in the summer LA. That's how crazy you can get. Now let's talk about the NHL point system. Now here's how the standard point system works. Because every game matters once you get into season. So if you win a game, then you get 2 points. Any type. If it's regulation time, if it's in overtime, or even shootout, you always get 2 points. And 1 point is when you have an overtime or shootout loss. So even if you lost after overtime or during overtime, you still get 1 point. 0 point, which is you don't gain any points, is for a regulation loss, when you lost before the buzzer ended. Over 82 games, teams stack up points to climb their division. And at the end of the season, the top 3 teams from every division will go into the playoffs, plus 2 wild cards per conference. Remember, per conference, so there's 4 wild cards in total. And what a wild card means is basically just the team with the highest point that did not qualify for the top 3 teams. You may wonder, what if 2 teams have the exact same amount of wins and losses? Well, this is rare, but if that happens, a tiebreaker kicks in. So it depends on how many regulation wins you have, how many the goal differential. So like, let's say if they both played the same team, but one team beat them 1-0, the other team beat them 3-0, then they would probably pick the 3-0 team. And if that doesn't work, then head-to-head records, when they verse each other, who won. In March and April, which is about the end of the regular season, you'll hear a lot of commenters say, this team controls its destiny. It means if they win out, they're in. And it's the most intense stretch of the season. And you might think that the regular season is intense enough, but after that, the playoffs is where it actually becomes really important. Once the 82 games are done, 16 teams, so all the teams we said, the top 3 from every single division, and the 2 wildcards, they add up to 16 teams in total. They move to the Stanley Cup playoffs. And that's a whole new story. And we'll come back to that in episode 2 of how the NHL playoffs works, because that's an entire different story and really complicated. If you found this video really helpful, please click like and subscribe, and tag a friend who still thinks the wildcard is a player. See you in episode 2, the playoffs.